Max and Lando having a slight running together. I sleep. Some absolute legend taking out half the field at T1 Monza. Ladies and gents, welcome back to Sim Racing Stewards, the series where yours truly wade through the battleground that is the Sim Racing Stewards subreddit and give my take on the incidents posted there. Now, before we get into these lovely juicy clips, if you're looking to start your sim racing journey or just improving it with some new kit, then head over to
Say the line, Bart!
Abruzzi. Over at Abruzzi, we have a whole range of different pieces of sim racing hardware, from individual wheels and pedal sets to full bundles and turn-e-rigs. So if any of that sounds good for you, feel free to go to the link down below in the description, and let's get on with the video. I am the Pork. Did I deserve this? I'm a beginner, so please don't judge the driving over the incident. Right, so ACC at the Nürburgring. We've got a car in front of us which is not going too quick. GP circuit now, so it's a straight little right-hand kink through here. We're in the draft. Good place to be. We're in the slipstream, getting pulled along a little bit. Going for a move at the kink. Not really any space there. We're now just about alongside the BMW. We should be there. BMW gets absolutely launched. Bit tricky there. I said the BMW probably should have seen the Porsche coming. And it seems that's about it for now. Although we are going onto a long straight which is followed by a heavy braking zone, so I think I know what's coming next. 3, 2, 1.
Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a
Oh, I just love a good intent wreck, you know? This will start back here at the chicane. So at this point we are kind of alongside, but we don't really move at all. The BMW sort of takes itself out across our nose there. I mean, if we look at our position relative to the white line here, we don't really move when the contact was made. So this really, I think, is actually on the BMW. But then, Mr. Big-brained BMW man thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to show him how to overtake into T1. No, you didn't deserve that at all, Mr. Porsche driver. The BMW driver, as so often is the case in real life too, was just a bit of a helmet. Oh wait, don't I race a BMW? So yeah, in this case, actually, Mr. Porsche, you are innocent. Next up, we have a clip from Forza, from Future Wolf 007, who says, so this isn't legal, right? We're at Suzuka, and it is wet out. Coming up to 130R. Just about inside the lines there for that. Up the inside goes ooh. Is that legal? So let's watch that back one more time, because that was a bit of a weird one. We're coming through 130R, really fast corner. The guy behind us gets a great run. He's now ahead of us. He then pulls across and kind of slams the brakes on. I understand what he was trying to do here. He was trying to defend straight away. But I'd say this is a pretty silly thing to do, because if you just sweep in front of someone and then smash on the brakes, there is no way in hell the guy behind you is going to have any time to react to that. You could say it's sort of driving unpredictably even at that point. Although if we look at the racing line here, sort of starting to turn red, which implies we are coming up to the braking zone. And of course, being on the inside, you are going to brake earlier. But if I was in this AMG, I'm minding my own business, and the guy just goes, then I'm not going to be able to avoid him. There's just no way whatsoever. So if I was to put fault on anyone, it would be on the Lamborghini.
Ooh, you suck!
Mixelada says, what could I do differently? I'm in the Kirby car. What a little cutie this is. I love the Kirby car. Best car EU. We're at Alton Park. Very fast left-hander coming up. We're on the inside. Let's see what happens here. Turn in. Ouch. We're turning into the corner. We're on the inside. Now, usually when you're on the inside going into a corner, you want to account for the fact you are going to drift out a little bit, because you're not on an ideal line, and this part of the circuit usually isn't quite as rubbered in as the racing line, meaning there's a little bit less grip. We're turning to the corner now, and we are actually committed to the corner. We've given a lot of space to the guy on the outside. We're not falling out of the corner, anything like that at all. In fact, if you look at where we are compared to the white line, we're actually coming in to meet the apex there. So nothing wrong with what we're doing as the Kirby car. However, the number 19 car on the outside has turned in far more aggressively to try and get to that rubbered-in racing line where we are now inhabiting in the Kirby car. As a result, just touches us, and we are now a passenger. We're going in that wall. It's the end for us. Rest in peace, Kirby car. You will be missed. So although I think unintentional, the fault for this goes down to the 19 car. You can't just turn into people and pretend they're not there. So guilty to the 19 car. Kirby car, I hope you live to race again. So Lawson says, I'm still learning all the rules for racing, but did I, the McLaren, do something wrong here? Ah yes, Monza, where sim racing dreams go to die. We've got a very feisty Ford behind us. I've got a feeling we're going to get sniffed at some point.
1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. The IQ off the charts today. So I've got to mute this now because there's some funky music in the background, but let's watch it from the POV of the Ford. So the guy in front, he's a bit slower through the chicane, through Ascari Hill. You can't run into people because they're slower than you, which he doesn't. He gets a better run through the exit, although maybe track limits. Goes outside track limits again, here outside the white line. Now we're... The road tightens up here. Now, he is significantly alongside, but you'd have to argue, did he get there by cutting some of the circuit? Let's go back a little bit here. For me, it's kind of borderline whether that's legal or not. It's right on the edge in terms of legality, but regardless of legality, I think going to the outside here, this is, again... I think I'd argue maybe even outside track limits. Is both wheels are on the line, not inside it, so I don't know. Depends on what series you're running. But I think it is super stupid to then like, oh, I'm going to launch it on the grass here and basically force this McLaren with contact to let me back onto the circuit because I've gone for a different line. The McLaren really is just on the racing line minding its own business. And I think then being removed by the guy in the Ford is, well, this happens. But yeah, if anything, I would say the Ford is guilty. 1, for being a bit of a helmet, and 2, for going outside of track limits to overtake and then expected to be let back onto the circuit and be given the position. It's just, at some point, you have to think, is this going to be a big accident if I continue? And if anything in your head says, yeah, probably, you know, you're allowed to back out a little bit and have another go. You're coming up to one of the biggest straights in the circuit. You can just slipstream past this guy if you're so much faster. You don't need to make these low percentage moves all the time. So, is this the first Le Mans Ultimate clip we've had here? That is some sort of milestone, I think. Probably. This is from Physical Page, who says, I didn't notice them rejoining, but should I have slowed down? So we are going down to the hairpin at Sebring. We are coming through here. Oh dear. What happened there? So, guy in front of us. So he's gone off the circuit. This guy in front's gone off the circuit. So this is where we have to start thinking in terms of regulations. You go off the circuit, it's then up to you, only you, to rejoin safely. So we are on the racing line. We have priority to the racetrack because we've managed to stay within the track limit. So we're now taking our normal racing line. There's no yellow flag or anything that I can see at the moment.
Hello.
This guy basically drives straight back into the racing line out of nowhere and spins himself over the nose of us.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Oh, done. Here's the POV of the guy who just rejoined into us here. Yeah, it's a really bad rejoin. Like, if you're this guy and you're rejoining onto a live circuit from off track, then really, you need to be over to the left here somewhere to give as much space as possible. You can rejoin at speed if you want, if it's safe to do that. It is not safe to go, I'm just gonna rejoin at like under like 50 mile an hour off racing speed and just drive straight onto the racing line. Oh, I've been crashed. What's happened? That is stupid. And like in the last clip, this guy got what he deserved, frankly. But to answer the question, should you have slowed down there to accommodate for that? The answer, frankly, is if there were no yellow flags and there's no blockage and the guy is rejoined off the circuit, in real life, I would have gunned it. I would have kept going and kept going quickly because the reg is, as long as you're careful and you're prepared for what's going on, well, the reg where I race anyway, you don't need to actually drop any speed. So this here, guilty to the guy rejoining. You have to rejoin safely. Rejoining straight onto the racing line is not a safe way of doing it. You're going to cause a crash, and in this instance you did, and you're out the race. TRD Laser says, how you see this?
No crashing, Augustin.
Bro's hitting the vape. Bro's hitting the vape hard. Oh, what? All I can hear is this guy hitting the vape in the background. I should have been judging that, but all I could hear was a guy vaping in the background. So let's turn that off. Hassenbach, right-hander. This is a very fast corner at the Nürburgring. 3 into 1. Netcode comes in, and they have contact. That's all it is, really. It's just, at this point, if you're on the outside, I think that maybe it's worth just backing out of this corner and slotting in back behind the 12 car, but it's just a racing incident. This is the gap when the contact happens here. This is where the iRace netcode decides that there is a crash happening. And unfortunately at that point, there's nothing you can do. You're going on the wall. Bam, bam. That guy got ejected. But yeah, racing incident, you guys were just unfortunately the victim of netcode. RIP. Was my defending fair? I am in the Ferrari. I think I was entitled to this move as I did only move once and I did not move erratically. Now I think I've seen this one before. Yeah, I have seen this before. This is a really interesting clip because as the guy in the Ferrari says, he's entitled to his one move, which he makes before the Porsche does. So I thought there the Porsche was going to go to the inside. They then came back to draft, so I'm watching the cars relative to this white line to see where they're moving. The Ferrari then decides to start moving over to the right-hand side. Porsche goes there as well. And to be honest, we're just driving our line to the inside. The guy behind then decides to try and cut back around, but doesn't lift, and then drives into the back of the Ferrari. So I'd say this was correct defending. It was very aggressive defending, but it was within the rules, and the Porsche just didn't quite judge the speed correctly, ended up putting you into the wall. So I would put that on the Porsche. I always say the risk goes up the harder you race, and that's just an example of that. But yeah, bad luck for the Ferrari there. I don't think they did anything wrong. MA3 says he defended hard for several laps, and then this happened. Well, you're allowed to defend hard, as we saw from the last clip, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Perez is catching Charles Leclerc. He takes him towards the inside. Perez on the inside. Charles Leclerc gives him just enough space. Can Perez squeeze past? They go wheel to wheel towards Vale now. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Leclerc has that inside line. Through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable.
That is a shame. So let's look at this again, because this first touch was a bit odd. Good move up the inside. Really nice move. We're there at this point. The guy on the inside actually just pretends you're not there. So first offence from a number 5. The guy did the work, got the car alongside you. You were like, oh, damn it. He's there. Better turn in, Schumacher style, and cause that first contact. Number 9 just takes the corner. You then, I think, try and again turn in on the number 9. Really not nice to see. And at this point, the 9 is ahead. It's a good move. Now, the car behind could use this. You can get a side draft in these cars if you're very close alongside to get back along and have a go into the hairpin coming up. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, quite intentional steer to the right there for the pit maneuver, and the 5 got caught up in it as well. So for me, yeah, big guilty for the number 5 car. No one likes a sore loser, you know. I understand that you don't want to be overtaken in racing. That is the opposite of what you want to happen. But sometimes you have to just accept that it's happening. If you fight tooth and nail for every position in every race, I guarantee you're going to be involved in a lot of crashes, because sometimes the guy behind you is just a lot faster, and it's better off for you to let them go, let them sort of carve a gap in the cars in front of you if you want to try and stay with them. But defending every position like your life depends on it, it's just a really easy way to have big crashes or to cause crashes. So yeah, number 5, gotta learn to give up sometimes, man. But anyway, guys, that was Sim Racing Stewards. If you have any questions about what you've seen, if you agree, disagree, or just have any thoughts on any instance you've seen here today, please let me know down below in the comments. A massive thank you as always to my channel members and patrons. If you're interested in joining up and supporting the channel, you can do so down below. Take care, have an awesome day. See you all next time.